you. Hello, I hope you're all doing great. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I found this really great lampwork bead on artbeads.com. Here's a close-up. There we go. I love it. It's this beautiful heart with some teal blue. Hi, Michelle. And this fun little heart on the side. Flower on the side. It's like a daisy flower. And it looks like this up close. There we go. I just love this as a lampwork focal bead. There we go. Can close in there. And it has a really pretty, like silvery base with some dots and stuff like that. And I just love this bead. So I saw this bead and I was like, okay, I want to build a bracelet around this. So what colors are we looking at? So I'm like looking at the teal and everything. And I thought, okay, we're going to build around that today. So I picked out some beads that are like in the same color vein as the lampwork glass. And I thought we could make a fun bracelet with that today. So having said that, I hope that you will engage with me and have some comments. I can read the comments on the bottom here on artbeads.com. I will revisit you on Facebook and YouTube to answer any questions you might have. And as always, before I finish out this show today, you'll want to close out your shopping cart. So I'm going to flip my camera around and we're going to have fun designing a bracelet. All right, put my camera around and point it down. Yay. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Tuesday so far today. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I love building on the fly with you guys. I think it's a lot more fun that way and everybody can add their input. Hello, Hannah. And let me know kind of what they're thinking with their idea. So again, we have this close up as a focal bead right here. And I love the shimmer in this glass. Like when you rotate the glass around, hello, Lisa, you can see this beautiful blue sparkly glimmer in there. I think it's really pretty. And I thought I would combine some teal flower beads with it because we have flower on there. And I'm also incorporating some yellow glass beads too, because there's a yellow center in here. I wanted to bring in just a little bit of yellow. And I'm also using these spacer beads. These have a fun little floral design on the edges as well. So I thought it would be fun to kind of incorporate little design aesthetics with the beads. There's also kind of dots on here, which also match the lampwork focal here. So I thought it would be fun to have little bits here and there that all tie in with this focal bead. So I'm also going to be using these fun blue petal beads, and so I'm going to do a project where I'm using more of these caps separately. I'm still deciding on some different design ideas, but I love these. I think these make great bead caps and they come in lots of different colors and this size is great. And I also pulled out these shiny ones that are flowers as well, because I thought the shimmer and the focal bead would go great with the shimmer and these flower beads. So hello, Hazel. So I thought that these would kind of like work together really well. And I also wanted to add these ones. So these are kind of like a gray silver, kind of a bronze color. And they go great with the tone here on the bottom and at the top of the lampwork bead. So when you pair them together, they match perfect. So I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. That was a little accident. So the design and the color matched this focal bead perfect. So I thought I want to put these in there somewhere as well as kind of like a little extra. And I thought this dragonfly charm would be fun to just throw in there as a charm on the bracelet. And I'm also using a Teacup clasp with some really pretty floral detail. So I'm trying to design basically around this lampwork bead with colors as well as a floral design and a little bit of a nature as well. So we have a couple different fun things all incorporating here around our lampwork. So I'm just not quite sure how I want to design this. So I thought I'm just going to put it together while we're hanging out and we can have fun deciding what to do next. Yay. So hello, Ellen. How are you? So to start, I'm using some Beading stringing wire, and I'm just going to add, hello, Tina. Thank you for being here. Have fun at your doctor's appointment. I hope it goes well for you. Thank you for joining us. And I'm just going to add my wire protector here on the end. And this will be where I start my bracelet at before I add my clasp and everything. So when I'm doing a bracelet, I like to use a wire protector because it protects the wire, and the life of the wire will last longer. So if you're using like a jump ring to attach to the clasp, for example, it does not have wear and tear directly on your wire, and it protects it. So I love using wire guards or wire protectors. And I just kind of gently press the end together a little bit. And then I use my Beading crimping tool, and I start in the back first, and I crimp down once, and then I rotate this around, and then I use the front end of the tool and I pinch it down again. And then you'll have this fun little hamburger look, and it will crimp it down. Hello, Maya. How are you, sweetie? I'm so glad to see you. Hello. And I just like crimp down the extra wire, and not crimp down. I cut off the extra wire, and then I add a crimp cover. And I go over my crimp with the cover because it kind of hides it and also decorates it up a little bit. It looks kind of like an end cap or a spacer bead. There we go. Okay, so my wire is ready to start decorating for a bracelet. So I want my lampwork bead in the middle and at the top of the bracelet, so it sits on the top of my wrist. So it really depends on how long you want your bracelet. You'll want to adjust your bead length going around. And right off the bat, I know I'm going to need 1 inch for my clasp. So if I'm looking for a 7.5-inch bracelet, I'm already about 6 inches, 6.5 inches for beading. Hello, Robin. I'm so glad, Maya. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to put this off to the side and just kind of gauge myself on how many beads I want to use with this being in the middle. And so for myself, I like to start rondelles at the beginning of a bracelet because they're a little bit smaller. They will sit comfortable on the wrist without being too large. And it's a great way to introduce color as well as you're going around your bracelet. Hello, Ruth. How are you? So I am going to use a couple little spacer beads, like daisy spacer beads. You can also use 11 seed beads, or we can use these as spacer beads as well. So I'm not sure if I want to do a second strand with this like this, or if I want to use it as a spacer bead. However, you can do both. So you can either add this to your wire in between beads to have it as a spacer bead to introduce color, which I think is a great idea. I'm also thinking if you wanted to take the time to wire wrap these, you could use them as a chain like dangle going around the bottom, or you can wire wrap it, or you can add it as a second strand. So I think, oh, thanks, Ruth. I appreciate it. I love these colors too. I think I'm going to use it as a second strand. I love making multi-strand bracelets. I don't know why. So yeah, I think I'm going to start the yellow on this one and then just do some tiny daisy spacer beads to kind of separate these out. And hello, BJ. And I'm going to use the flower next. I love these beautiful flower beads. You can use these for so many different types of jewelry, like bracelet, earrings, necklace, to add not only a pretty splash of color, but as well as the shape. And flowers are great. Of course, we're in the spring season. Hello, Kat. And so they would be great to design with, I think, if you wanted to do different types of jewelry, and they're great for earrings as well. So for these ones, I really wanted to use, I'm going to introduce these here. I like to use them, like I said, as a bead cap. So you can go around another bead like so. I'm also going to use it around the base here of my lampwork bead to just kind of help hide the hole in the bottom. Hello, Lori. I'm glad you're here. So you can do this. Plus this particular color matches the base of the lampwork bead. They're literally the same color of glass. So it's a great way to add a little bit extra of this color throughout the bracelet, which ties it in with your center bead here as well, because they're the same color. So I thought that was fun. And also, if you wanted to use it at the base of your floral bead, it's a great way to color block so you don't have too much teal together. And it's also a fun way to kind of like sandwich in the floral bead and add a little splash of color to tie in with this one as well. So I try to tie in the colors throughout the whole bracelet. That way it's not just heavy, too heavy on one color. But you can also mix and match as well. So I'm thinking, I'm kind of thinking as I go, yeah, I want to do that. All right, so I'm going to use some of these here in the center around this guy when we're ready for him later. And maybe this one. I'm not quite sure how I want to do these yet. Here we go. If you use the smaller gray beads in the middle of the larger floral bead, it also is a great way to kind of add a little bit of a stem if you want to do that. Hello, Laura. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I actually like it like that. That's better. Okay. All right. This is the fun thing about making jewelry is you can take things apart and add beads and put them back and then mix and match too to figure out what you like and how it comes out the best. Yeah, I absolutely love this focal bead. I think it's so beautiful and you can do so much with it. It kind of reminds me of the beach and sand, or, you know, you've got your daisy flower. I just think it's really, really pretty. So you can do a lot with it. So I just kind of wanted to add a hint of yellow in this one and not make the yellow too overpowering. I wanted to do a little bit more creams and the teals, but having said that, I did not bring out enough cream beads. I need to get some out really quick. This. Okay, this is better. All right, so we have these two on artbeads.com, the melon cream color beads. I really like these. I used these on my last class for a bracelet. I really like them. However, they don't really match these guys color wise. So, all right, so we have options here. You can use these floral beads to match the shimmer here because they have the same blue shimmer in the, I love the teacup beads, are my favorite. You can use the shimmer bead to match the shimmer here or not use that one if you decide to incorporate the cream instead. So it depends on what you want to bring out of your lamp work. If you want to have more of the shimmery white color, which we have here in the daisy and the shimmer, or if you want to bring out more of the cream. Now, there is both the colors in here too, so you can use both. I'm just trying to figure out what I like better. I'm like, which one do I want to incorporate a little bit more here? So we have things to work with. All right, I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to use the yellow one. So I hope everyone is having a fabulous Tuesday. Yes, I can see your messages, Beverly. I love the creamy melons too. They work great with so many different types of jewelry making projects. I mean, they're a great way to incorporate fall colors, or I just think it's a real staple for like bohemian as well. Or if you want to just kind of mute something and add a little bit of shimmer, because these do have a nice little shine to them. So I think I want to do this one. Yeah, I think for the yellow, I'm not going to use it as much. I like to just use, I'm so glad you add the melons. I love them. They're great. I have a lot of melons from artbeads.com. They're some of my favorite beads. They're great to incorporate with so many different designs. And they're a great anchor too. So if you're looking for something again for earrings or different types of jewelry, they will be easy to work with. Okay. All right. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a pattern here. Okay. And since I'm spacing out the yellow, I think it's okay to add another yellow because it's not too heavy. Because there's just a splash of yellow on the lamp work, I don't want to do too much yellow. Now, you can do as much yellow as you want. Just for myself, I just want to add a little. So I'm going to finish up here because I'm looking at the space-wise. I'm getting close to be the center of my bracelet. So I'm going to finish that and add this for my lamp work support. So I want to use the larger silver spacer bead at the base of this and one of the teacup ones. Again, I'm using these as, hello, Julie. I'm using one of these to be like, again, the bead cap. So it's almost the same size as the hole, but I think it's big enough to kind of cover it up and not shift too much. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. So it'll sit, it looks like right over my teacup pretty well as a spacer bead. It's a great way to cover up the hole and kind of add a little extra bead detail. And it's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to flip it around. Okay, so for the top, because it wants to cave in, I'm going to flip it around and have it sit backwards. So it sits in the curve here of the top of the lampwork bead because it wants to dive in like this. Since it's a heart, if you use this, it'll just kind of float over the top, and that'll help kind of hide the drill hole as well as kind of add a little extra glass on the top. And I'm going to top up this guy. All right, cool. So we have this fun gray one, which ties in with the top and the bottom of the lampwork, and which also makes the same color with dots. So that's cute. I like that. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad you like the cream beads. I just think they're so great. Okay. Okay, we're coming up with something here that makes me happy. I like this. I'm starting to see a little bit of a design pattern here. Here we go. So this can be the top where we want this to lay over the top of your wrist like this. So we have a little bit of, the gray hinted beads, the cream, as well as the teal coming out with your flowers. And then you have the yellow below it. So you have a little splash of color as well as a fun little design here to kind of frame in the lamp work. So it stands out by itself. So it's a focal point, but it also has kind of like a fun, colorful frame around it. I like that. Okay. So I'm going to add this teacup bead to the bottom of the flower. Oh, this is great. I love how this is coming out. I will make sure to post a picture of this finished and the Serious Art Beaders group on Facebook. That is the artbeads.com Facebook group. So that way you can refer to it as a finished product so you can find the supplies and copy it. And here we're going to do another daisy one. Okay, and we're going to add the yellow. And again, I'm just using just a little bit of the yellow rondelles here to just kind of add a little splash of yellow to tie in our floral bead up here, but not too heavy. Some people like yellow, some people don't. So sometimes I just add a little bit depending on the color wheel that I'm using. And there's this. Oh, I have one more melon bead left. See, I also need to place an order with artbeads.com and get some more of them. Melon, I'm reading your guys' stuff. I love that movie. Every time Melon is said, I think of this movie and him talking about his son. I'm not sure which Melon you mean. Is there a special way to use teacup beads or just like spacers? I got some of these in different colors. I have some different ideas to use these for earrings and a bracelet. You can use them as a spacer bead or as a bead cap. One of the ideas I have is I want to do a bracelet with different colors, and I'm just going to kind of demonstrate this really quick. I want to have them be in a different color block and look kind of like this on a multi-strand bracelet in a monochromatic manner. So you can have a strand of teacups that starts with one shade and go around maybe like a rainbow and then end up in a different color. So the artbeads.com has these in many colors. So what I was thinking is, for example, you could start from purple and go from different colors of purple from dark to lighter and then have a whole strand of teacup beads that are they change in a different color pattern like this going around. And then you can do like some type of a multi-strand bracelet. So when you're looking down, you have teacups that all come along in different colors on the wrist. So I thought that would be a neat idea to try. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, like an ombre. There you go. Perfect. So I wanted to do something like that. So you have like different colors coming out with the same color vein. So like you can use purple, for example. You can do like dark, light, lighter, and then maybe have like one center bead. So I have a couple different, thank you, a couple different ideas for these, but they're just such a great, comfortable like size and weight that you can do so much with these for like earrings. They're not going to be pulling down on your ear if you want to use a bunch of these around another bead. And I also just thought they're a great way to frame in beads or use as a bead cap. And they come in a large tube. So you get a lot for their 4x2mm. You get a lot of beads in one. So you can make many projects out of one tube. And I can show you some other colors I got really quick. Because I just love these. So like here's one that's called Antique Copper. So I got this one so you can mix it with copper metal, you know, right? Okay. And then they have a bronze, which is great. It's a darker bronze. I think this one is bronze, or it's a blue. Nope, this was turquoise bronze. Okay, so you could mix this with blues. I can see kyanite with this, or different types of Czech glass with that tone of blue, and then bronze metal. And then they also have a turquoise, straight up turquoise. So you can mix this with browns and other color, turquoise, silver, bronze, copper. So, and they have lots of purples. Here's a purple. So I just love these teacup beads for myself. Yeah, you can use them for large hole beads, I think. But they are 4mm. So you would want to make sure the large hole was 4mm or less. But, anyways, if you haven't seen these yet, they have lots of colors. And so what I was thinking again is like combining a similar color wheel and then just doing like an ombre look with them. I thought that would be really fun to experiment with. I haven't done it yet. And, you know, you can have multiple strands and tie them into a clasp. That's a multi-strand clasp, and then have like a really pretty ombre look. Okay, so back to this guy. Anyways, love the teacups. Check them out. artbeads.com, many colors available. Okay, so I want to repeat this pattern on this side. Away. Grab my little guys. All right. Yeah, Lori, there are so many pretty colors. I'm sorry, Michelle. Michelle's like, what? Because there's like probably 40 colors of teacup beads. They're really pretty. And all right, so I'm doing the flower and the little daisy. And then next, I'm going to go back to these guys. So I'm just repeating the pattern on the other side. And then as I'm going, I just want to make sure I'm testing for length for myself. Like I want this to stay at the top. And sometimes I add too many beads on the other side and then it's too long. And then you have to take some beads off. So I will probably be experimenting with that idea here in a minute. Okay, like did I add too many? Okay, and then teacup bead for a bead cap here on the end. And almost done. All right, cool. I think for this one, I have to end with the flower. Like so. Okay, let's see where I'm at. Yep, that is long enough. Okay, so I might have to actually take this one off. All right, so this is right here about a 7.5 inch bracelet. So we start with a flower and go along this way and then end with a flower. So I like that one a lot better actually. And then I'm going to take this one off. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so yeah, this is a 7.5-inch bracelet right here. And then this will be the top portion that will lay on the top of your wrist. So again, you have the lampwork as your focal bead. And then I have the 2 Teacup spacer beads around it with the 3-petal bead in the teal color. So for myself, I want the pattern to sit like this on the top of my wrist. And like I said, I'll take a picture and post it to the Facebook group. That way you have the pattern. So if you purchase everything, you can copy it. Oh, thank you for adding the other teacups, Michelle. I appreciate it. And, you know, when you buy these strands too, you'll have beads left over. So you can make some fun earrings to match and possibly a necklace. So, or if you get 2 lampwork beads, you can use this as a pendant for a necklace and wire up the top and have it drop down here. Ooh, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's pretend we're doing this. This could stem off to your necklace edges, and this can hang in the center like this as your pendant focal point. And then you can use this design off each side as a necklace. So that's a fun idea too. Pretending I'm taking this off, you have your focal bead hanging up, and then this can go off to the side for a necklace design like that too. So lots of fun things to make with this. And I'm so glad, Julie. Thank you. So actually, I'm going to take that apart and do that really quick. I like that idea. So we have our beads here. Push this off to the side. Beads here. And your focal bead drops down like this. So that's a fun idea. So if you want to do a necklace instead of a bracelet, you have that idea as well. So you can do the same bead concept and just have this wire wrapped and drop it as a pendant. And we have time, so like I can show you how to wire wrap this really quick. Just need to find the right wire. All right, so where did it go? All right, I need 20. All right, so I'm going to use 20 gauge artistic brand wire in the antique brass. I call it bronze because it's dark like bronze, but you want to use 20 gauge to 22 gauge when you're working with a lampwork glass pendant because you usually have larger holes. So you want to make sure you have slightly thicker wire to wire wrap around it. Oh, bless you, Lori. Seriously, you told me my day. Thank you so much. Thank you, PJ. I appreciate it. So, and there's different ways you can do this, but for myself, I'm just going to do like a loop at the end because then you can add dangles to it, or you can add a drop bead if you want. And I also you want to do it a little small so it kind of hides in the lamp work. And you want your wire to be thicker because you want it to fill up that drill hole and not have the wire get sucked up into the interior of the ceramic bead and then it kind of get lost in there. It will kind of get lost in there and then you're like, uh-oh, my wire went through the center. So, oh, it's out of stock. Yeah, I was going to say there might be another color or I can do another design too with another lamp work that they have in stock too while we're here and give you guys another one. So I just want to kind of do this for the base of the lamp work. So you just have a couple coils with your loop. I'm like, what is that called? With your loop. And another way to do this to make it easier is just take it and actually go through the top first. That way you don't have to wire up around the dents here caused by the heart, which is too hard. Like if you want to try to wire up a loop in here where it kind of goes into the center, sometimes it comes out messy. So I just flip my wire around and drop it in there and it sits nice and flush in that little davit. And I don't have to deal with trying to wire up in that like little weird thing. So I'm going to drop it through and do this. Now, if you want to wire up your bracelet like this, you can also do it this way. If you don't want to do beading wire through the middle, you just have your little end and you can wire wrap beads all the way around your bracelet and just have like a wire wrapped bracelet too. And then I like to kind of go around a few times. That way I know it's not going to get lost up inside of the lamp work bead and it will stay nice and tight and flush with my wire work here. And it's not moving or going anywhere. It's doing what it's told. And then I want to make sure that this is up straight and they are in the same direction. So you can wire wrap like this. Oh, thanks, Julie. I appreciate it. I always laugh at myself. And so you have your 2 loops on each end. And so you can turn this into a necklace like this. And you can grab one of these guys, and have it kind of like drop like this. So that would be fun too. So here you have a necklace option. So that's a lot of fun. Or again, you can turn on and use it as a bracelet like this too if you want to wire wrap. So you have lots of different ideas that you can use with your focal bead, depending on your comfort level for your 2 loops. It's kind of like this cereal. What is it? With the bird, the loop cereal. It's not loop salt. Anyways, I just thought of that when I read your thing, Julie. I'm like, what is that cereal called? Fruit Loops. There we go. I should make a Fruit Loops bracelet. Oh, that's funny. Okay, anyways. So we have 2 loops, 1 on each end of your focal point if you want to do a wire wrapped bracelet, or if you want to use it as a pendant for necklace, and then you can do drop bead underneath it. You know, whichever one you feel comfortable with. And, or you can take this off and just string it and use these guys again as your bead cap on the ends and turn it into a bracelet. So there's a couple different ideas that you can do with this guy as a focal bead. So you guys said it's sold out, blah, blah, blah. So I have another one I can grab that is in stock that we can use some of these beads with. I think, you know, I'm home for a few weeks to pack up the rest of my stuff and take it back with me to Virginia. And I'm taking my cats and my kid. And I get here and I develop this cough. I think I'm allergic to something in Washington State. It makes me cough. But anyways, okay. That's where I got these guys. Sweet. So I got these guys too. These are so pretty. It's a 4-pack, but I love 4-packs because you can take one for a bracelet, 2 for earrings, and 1 for a necklace, and make like a whole jewelry set out of these guys. And again, you have the cream colors with a little bit of that gray that's on this guy. So it's like, all right, so we still have these ones left over. You still have your cream. You got these guys. So you can use those to go with these. These are, sorry, Michelle, Grace Lampwork, sorry, Amethyst Treasure Pillow Bead Strand. So these have a beautiful purple and like maroon pink color, I think. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see that. There you go. Oh, that color looks really, really pretty. These are sold out too. Well, shucks darn. Okay. Well, all right. I will find something else for next time. Well, we can talk more about teacup beads because next week I will have a fun project with teacup beads. I'm still formulating some ideas, so I will probably do multiple teacup bead projects so you can have like earrings and a necklace and a bracelet to have fun with. I think that would be neat. And then I get asked this a lot about this clasp. Okay, so I love this clasp. It's JJB. And it's on artbeads.com. I love to use this on my jewelry, and people are asking me where I get it from. Artbeads.com. It's amazing brass. I love this. And it doesn't antique and change colors. It's a very good quality metal, and it stays really well in the bracelets. Just letting you guys know, I love that clasp. Like, I'm addicted to them. And I made this bracelet earlier with one. They're awesome. So I get asked a lot where I get it from. It's artbeads.com. And like you can do, it's a great weighted clasp for stuff. I just love it. All right. Well, I will do a close up here again. Here was this guy. And then we're mixing it with, oh, you know what? I forgot. I need to add my dragonfly on there. So I will finish the bracelet again. All right. So we're just going to make the bracelet again. Oh yeah. Okay. And we're using silver, not bronze. Okay. So, all right, we're here, and that's where I was going to leave this one off because we ran out of time. Okay, we're going to do this really quick, and then I'll show you how to add your clasp and finish it off, and then I'll take a picture. Although, I'm just really liking this idea as a necklace pendant too, but all right, we're going to do this. and the teacup. And I'm trying to do this from memory. Oh, I'm so glad that you have ideas for the teacup, Maya. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what you make. They're so much fun to work with. They're awesome sauce. I'm glad you have fun. And like I said, it's just a couple dollars you get a ton in here, so you can do a lot of projects. I think they're a great idea. Okay, I'm going to do this one again, and this one, and oh, that's right, I did that one. Okay, this. All right, I might be changing this design just a teeny bit. This, and do those together. And then it was this guy. And thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys are having a fun Tuesday. And this one, and this one. Okay. Oh, that's a neat idea too. Last time I had the teal bead bite, but that's also funny if you just want to do that one. Okay. This one, because I want to add these other flower beads in there. They have that shimmer that's on the inside of this one, so I feel like they're really complementary of each other with the shimmer. And I imagine some of the teacup beads also have the same shimmery glass, so they're sparkly. It just depends on what color you get, but they also have those too. This and this. So I'm just repeating the pattern back down the other side. Oh, you know, I left out the melon bead. That's what I did. I got to add the melon bead. All right, I'm backing up. Me. Got to add the melon bead. Oh, that's awesome, Hannah. I can't wait to see what you make. I really want to incorporate these in earrings. Okay, so I know I'm going off on a tangent here really quick. Sorry, I have ADD. So, you know, if you use a ball head pin, they work great as a cap on a ball head pin too. And you can these don't match, but just pretend that they did. So let's do this for an earring base, right? And do this. And slap a spacer bead on there and a flower bead. And you have a cute pair of earrings. So I think you can do a lot with the teacup beads and have a good time with them, to just add a little bit of color and design and different kinds of jewelry that you're making. So I'm gonna take this. I forgot I took the melon beads out. This and the flower. And okay. Your day is not complete without art beads. That's good. That's how I feel. My day is not complete without art beads, because they have amazing beads and you can make so much stuff with them. So they're a must. Okay, here we go. I'm back on track now. And this and this. Okay, cool. Here we go. I got my pattern back. All right, so I'm going to remake this with you guys, and then add the clasp, and then I will post a picture on the Facebook group so you guys can have it to make your own version, or you can copy this one, whatever you want to do. Oh, Laura, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You totally made my day brighter. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. You guys are awesome. I don't know what I'd do if you guys didn't come here and hang out with me. It's a lot more fun. Yeah. Okay. This one and the other melon. Okay. I'm talking out loud to myself, so I got my pattern down here. I mean, who else doesn't talk to themselves when they're making jewelry? I'm sure a lot of people do sometimes. Add this one, go this way, repeat. Kind of like when you're following a pattern. If you're knitting or something, one loop, chain two. Where'd that one go? Okay, guy. Okay, this and this. All right, I think I'm done. And so just in case, I'm going to put it on my wrist, make sure it's the right size. Okay, so I have my focal on the top. I think it's long enough. All right, I am good. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this one up. And again, I'm just going to use a crimp and my wire protector, And then use a crimp cover to cover that up. Like so. And pull this down. There we go. And then crimp it down. You feel like you're eavesdropping. That's cute. Well, I love to look at our days together as like we're beading and having coffee and like having fun conversations and talking and like making jewelry. It's like, I would love to call this like Andria's coffee bead time or something, like coffee chat or something, bead chat, coffee bead chat, you know, where it's like you're having your coffee or your water and you're making jewelry with your friends and you're like hanging out and talking. And you're like, oh, let's make a bracelet. Like, I think it's fun. And I just got to get my crimp cover on there. Sometimes they like to flop over to the side and you just have to grab it with your chain nose pliers. I'm obsessed with my Beadalon chain nose pliers, by the way. These are the best chain nose pliers in the entire world. Okay, here we go. Just crimp that down. All right, cool. So, here we go. And I'm going to add a 6 millimeter jump ring, 6 millimeter jump ring, and then add my clasp. And, ooh, just made a jewelry faux pas on that one. Stabbing yourself with your pliers. That's a rookie mistake. And add the bottom here. And there you go. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to turn them off to the side, Andria. And I'm going to add just a little jump ring here, like a 3 millimeter with my dragonfly. And I'm going to put it at the top where the toggle round is, because that way it won't interfere when you're trying to close your bracelet clasp as much. Whereas if you put it on the bar part, it sometimes gets in the way when you're trying to close your bracelet around your wrist and wants to kind of flop everywhere. So this way, it's out of the way, but you still have a really pretty charm. All right, here we go. So we have today's bracelet with your focal point here, focal lampwork bead, blah, and your beautiful clasp, and this really fun dragonfly. Now, you don't have to use a dragonfly. You can use a heart or a flower. I just thought it'd be fun to use a dragonfly because we have little flowers incorporated here, and it's like springtime and nature, so you can mix it up with something else. Or you can also take your silver ball head pin and wire wrap a floral bead and have another charm there as well. So I think I'm going to actually do that really quick because do I have one? Oh, sweet, I have one. Yay, I'm going to do no, actually, I have these on the base, so I think I'm going to do this one. And just have a cute little flower here. And yes, we're going to use our teacup as a bead cap on the top. There we go. And twist around. We got our loop. Sweet. And we're going to get our jump ring. Like so. Ooh, okay. And I'm going to add it to this one. If I can maneuver up. Here we go. And close it. All right, cool. So we have, I'm doing sound effects. Okay, so I have my flower and my dragonfly here on the clasp like so. And then we have our pattern of flower, yellow, flower, melon, flower, flowers, spacer cap, spacer bead, bead cap, your focal bead. And then here's how it looks all finished. Yay, I love it. I think it's so pretty. So here's a close-up of the bracelet. Thank you, Maya. I love you. You're so amazing. Thank you. And so here's a beautiful close-up. Yay. And I'll post a picture on the Facebook group. Again, it's called Serious Art Beaders. That's on Facebook. And so that way you guys have a photo of what it looks like so you can make your own. Yay. I'm glad you guys love it. I love it. It's pretty and it's colorful. It's great for spring or summer. I love it. Oh, yes. And if you have items in your cart, please close it out before the end of the show. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera around. Here we go. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. I really appreciate it. And here's a close up. You can see the pretty colors. And I hope you guys have fun. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And thank you so much for joining me today. I love having you guys hang out with me and enjoy making jewelry with you. And take care. I'll talk to you next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. Oh, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to artbeads.com. Send them an email. They also have a little chat box. You can email me too, or give me a question. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. If you have anything, I'm here for you as well. And so is the Art Beads team. And thanks so much for being here, and have a great rest of your day.